Welcome to One Perfect Enemy, the series where I take a look at enemies from video games that I consider to be perfect just the way they are. This includes their overall design, as well as what they contribute to the gameplay and lore of the respective games. Today's subject is the Koopa or Koopa Trooper from the Super Mario series. Because let me tell you, I spent hours of my life stomping. At first glance, they appear to be incredibly simple, merrily marching back and forth, almost being just a small step up from the lowly Goomba. At best, they're able to fly around a bit, or not walk off platforms, as long as the shell is red. The true beauty of the design, however, comes from the fact that these turtly critters lose their shell when jumped on. This alone is a rather rare feature, as only certain enemies like the Kitu give you a sort of power up on the feet. But this shell exceeds all of them by far. Not only does it prevent enemies from walking further, it can even be kicked back at them, sending them flying. And not just that, but the more enemies you take out with a shell, the higher your chance is at getting a 1-up. Depending on the game, Mario is even able to pick it up, adding yet more complexity to the gameplay. It essentially serves as a one-time only ranged attack, giving you the ability to take enemies out on a whim by throwing it. And not just enemies. A shell will also activate question mark blocks, and in certain Mario titles, will even allow you to collect coins and other items when colliding with them. They're in general great for farming coins, especially when repeatedly bouncing back and forth between coin blocks and even lives with the 1-up trick. But even if you don't get around to doing any of that, the Koopa shell functions like a shield, destroying anything it touches. Before Yoshi, this was the original additional hit point. The Koopa isn't just limited to the shell, however. As mentioned previously, they sometimes fly through the air as a so-called Koopa paratrooper. Not only does it add more vertical obstacles in a rather horizontal game, it even serves as a platform for you to step on, in order to achieve a much higher jump. And unlike other enemies that also drop their shells, like the Buzzy Beetles, the Koopa can be taken out easily with a fireball. So while they don't get defeated instantly normally, they can at least be taken out in one go with certain items. As for their personality, they're just oozing with it. Goombas are basically just angry all the time, but Koopas appear almost curious, innocent even. Super Mario World gave them the most characterization up until that point in history by showing that they wear adorable white shirts when out of the shell, and will try to get back into it when stomped on. Certain Koopas will even kick their own house at Mario in an attempt to knock him out. So they are determined in their quest to take the brothers down, being loyal followers of Bowser and all. But they can even be a bit playful, which really comes to shine in the new Super Mario Bros. Titles. I don't have to point out how they will dance a little in sync with the music's ba ba in those games, since you're all too familiar with it. But I will point out that they're the only enemy in the game that even does dance to the beat, with others mostly just jumping a bit or doing a twirl. Girls just wanna have fun, I guess. That isn't even mentioning how they behave in games outside the main series, like the RPGs or Mario Kart games, being not just That isn't even mentioning how they behave in games outside the main series, like the RPGs or Mario Kart games, being not just chill and friendly, but even assisting the brothers directly at times. It really puts them into perspective. While they are loyal to Bowser, they aren't bad people at all, thinking for themselves, having hopes, dreams, likes and dislikes. They're just soldiers after all. As for the designs, come on, they're turtles, how could you not love them? Not even that, but they're also super iconic to the Super Mario series as a whole, even more than the Goombas. They essentially appeared as early as the original Mario Bros. Arcade game, which featured their ancestor, the Shellcreeper. So technically, they are the oldest reoccurring enemy in the entire franchise. They're so iconic in fact that even their leader Bowser is called King Koopa in Japanese. So while the Goomba might have been the first enemy many of you ever saw in a Mario game, the Koopa left a much bigger impact, with their adorable design, cute personality and sheer gameplay opportunities. Wherever there's a Mario game, there has to be a Koopa in it. Otherwise, can it even be a Mario game? And for those reasons, they are, in my eyes, one perfect enemy. I had also originally considered the Goomba for this video, but while I do love their goblin-like behavior and overall naivety, since it's very relatable to me, they're a bit too simplistic overall. Not bad as enemies or characters, they just don't offer as much as the Koopas. But what's your take? Are there any Mario enemies you think deserve even more love? Or perhaps enemies from other games that you consider to be perfect? Let me know down below. Also, check out my other videos in this series if you're interested. And please consider liking, commenting, subscribing and perhaps even supporting me on Patreon. Anything is appreciated. But for now, thank you very much for watching, have a wonderful day, and Koopas in the original Mario Bros. Arcade game.